Welcome, everyone. For our students, as you are getting settled, one last little piece of housekeeping that Lee and I would like to remind you. We are still accepting applications for the August internship. If you have not submitted your application, but we're thinking of, please try to get it to us by Friday so we can start reviewing those applications. And if you have any questions, of course, reach out to Lee, Irene, Laura, or I about the internship. All right, welcome everyone. I'm very excited to see our final presentations. While I do a couple little housekeeping items, I will turn it over to Irene for our official opening.
Official, but very brief. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, you know, my name is Irene Porro. I am a director of a Krista McCullough Center. And today I'm really happy to be the person welcomes you all to our final presentation for our See Yourself in STEM Team Mentorship Program. As I wrote in an email this morning to our team, this is our grand finale. And I'm super excited. Yeah, super excited. People can clap in person or with the reaction buttons. As part of my intro, I just want to say this. I know it's been a long way to get here, right? We started last September with a group of students. We didn't really know exactly where we were going. We have a sense of direction, but we didn't know where we would land. And today we're landing with, I think, a very interesting group of projects that each one of them I know made me think, made me reflect. I learned a lot from each one of them because you guys approach the problems that you decided you wanted to solve at some level or another with a new perspective that I didn't have. So I'm really excited to hear from you in your final presentation, for which I know you work very hard. So 2 words of thank you. One, to all the students who participated this year. We know some of you are moving on to college next year, so that's very exciting. But for those who are not, we hope that in one way or another, we will keep seeing you and stay in touch with you. But also I want to say a very, very big word of thank you to all our mentors. I know not all of them could be here today, but for those of you, those who are, thank you so much for the dedication and the commitment that you've shown. Again, it's been a great journey that we did together. I will make sure that the people who couldn't join today can hear this message of thanks as well. But, you know, it's, of course, it's a cliche to say we couldn't have done it without you, but it's true, we couldn't have done it without you. So thank you all for spending this time with us over the past several months. And thank you for being here today. But now it's really time to hear from you guys. So Evan, back to you.
Perfect, thank you. So for the presentations for today, we have 8 teams. Of those 8 teams, we have broken them up into 4 categories. And we're going to start with one called Gamifying School Sustainability, Reducing Our School's Environmental Footprint, Addressing Global Issues Through Local Action, and Building Neighborhood-Based Solutions. So each section has 2 presentations. At the end of the second presentation, we'll have a chance for comments, questions, for each of those sections. Feel free during the presentations to utilize the chat to ask any questions or add any comments. We'll make sure to monitor the chat. But with that, I'm going to turn it over to our first team, our water pollution team.
Good afternoon, everyone. Our project focuses on reducing single-use plastic water bottle waste at Framingham High School. My name is Olivia Ramito, and I'm a junior.
My name is Andrew Subramaniam, and I'm also a junior. We have 2 other members on our team, but unfortunately, they aren't able to make it today. Their names are Sarah Olson and Elizabeth Scheck. The problem that we are addressing is pollution resulting from plastic water bottle consumption at Framingham High School. We chose this topic because one of the main problems at our school is the abundance of plastic water bottle waste. Our goal is to develop an app that will encourage and incentivize students to utilize the water refill station at school, which will reduce the plastic water bottle consumption. Our project focuses on UN Sustainable Development Goal number 12, which is ensuring sustainable consumption and production patterns.
This is the video that we submitted for the Teens Dream video competition hosted by the Global Collab Network in partnership with the Smithsonian. It discusses the importance of the problem we are discussing and the thought process behind our solution.
The battle for access to clean, safe drinking water has been fought time and time again. But what happens when people don't trust their access? The perception of the water quality at Framingham High School influences the choices that students and faculty make in order to drink clean water. Looking at the results from our survey that received over 350 responses, about 45% of people said they only feel comfortable drinking from certain water fountains, and some people don't trust it at all. But why? According to water quality tests, Framingham High School has extremely safe and clean water compared to other towns. But because of the perception students and faculty have about the safety and cleanliness of the water coming from the water fountains, they would rather buy and drink out of bottled water from the vending machine. The purchase of these unnecessary bottled waters from the vending machines create more plastic waste that falls into landfills every single day. UN Sustainable Development Goal 12 is about responsible production and consumption of water, energy, and food. With the population of the world ever expanding, the sustainability of water is becoming more of an issue. More than 1 billion people still do not have access to fresh water. But in Framingham, there is reliable, safe, and clean access, but people would rather buy plastic water bottles. In order to become more sustainable, the trust needs to be brought back. There needs to be more education on where Framingham's water actually comes from and its safety. Most people do not know that Framingham gets its water from the Quabbin Reservoir in western Massachusetts, safely guarded by trees and wildlife. But as you drive around Framingham, you see polluted reservoirs that are no longer in use, giving off the image that Framingham's water comes off the side of the highway. Sending out information to the students and faculty by social media and posters around the school showing evidence of the water's safety and the negative effect that plastic waste has on the sustainability of the community, we hope to see a change in responses in a 6-month post-survey. With these results, we can make this change.
So our solution is to create an app. Here is the design of our idea. So the first step is that students will arrive at the water refill station. They then scan the QR code using their phone or another device. And after that, that will take them to our app. In the app, they will find learning modules. It would also keep track of the number of water bottles saved for each grade and provide students with incentives to continue using water refill stations and learning more about the effects of plastic waste.
As far as the local to global connection, locally, we hope to encourage more sustainable habits related to plastic water bottle waste or usage throughout our project's incentive and reward system. We also hope to promote local small businesses while also promoting sustainability. And globally, we hope that individual habit changes can encourage others to make the same changes. And we hope that our project will raise more awareness about sustainability, which can hopefully spread to other communities as well.
So who will benefit? Locally, website users will benefit by becoming educated about their impact on the environment and by creating more sustainable habits. Local businesses will benefit because participating local businesses will be advertised through the rewards portion of the app, and they will gain positive attention for helping to promote sustainability in their community. Globally, the environment will benefit because reducing single-use plastic waste will decrease the amount of plastic that ends up in landfills and oceans. Other communities will benefit because hopefully these ideas will be able to spread and potentially be implemented in their own community. So our next steps. First step will be to select a pilot group of student volunteers to experiment with the website. The second step will be to gather constructive criticism from our group of volunteers about the website. And then we will have to identify what we need to adjust on the website to fit out users' advice and requests. After that, we will use Adobe XD to outline a mobile app using the template of our website. And finally, we will outline a user-friendly settings for app users. Development over time. So on teamwork, communication. Being remote has made working together even more challenging, but we quickly adapted and found ways to communicate virtually. Even when members couldn't make it to some meetings, we tried to make sure that everybody was caught up. Collaboration. We always listened to each other's ideas. Time management. There were a number of deadlines we had to complete, and as a team, we were able to meet them all. Now, STEM thinking. STEM thinking developed over time through data collection and analysis. And this was shown when we conducted a survey to the students and faculty at our school. We also received feedback and changed our approach when we used our pilot group. Environmental sustainability. We became more aware about environmental issues, and we were able to connect with amazing organizations, experts in the field. Some of these organizations were Keep Massachusetts Beautiful and Teens Dream CoLab. We have been able to connect with experts, including our own mentors and the staff at the McCall Center, who provide us with valuable guidance throughout our project.
We want to give a special thanks to our amazing mentors, Leontine Aka, Carrie Reed, and Deborah Taylor. We also want to give a special thanks to the Krista McAuliffe Center for Integrated Science Learning at FSU, the Smithsonian Affiliations, the Metro West STEM Education Network, and the Global CoLab Network.
Excellent, great job. Our next team is also focuses on an app, and they are called Clean Schools for a Clean Planet.
Hello, so we are Madeline Stockeye, Haley Jansons, and Isabella Shady, all in 10th grade, or now 11th, from Milford High School for the team Clean Schools for a Clean Planet. Our mentors are Kathleen, Nicole, Kai, and Akara. The problem that we are facing is a lack of participation in the recycling system in our schools. We are creating a mobile application that will help students track when they recycle and sort their data into grade-based teams that will encourage participation in a fun way. This will also serve as an education platform that will teach students about the impact of recycling. Our team chose this topic because we have seen that our school's recycling system, when in operation, is not largely effective. And now that it is not running, we know how much of a difference we can make. Next slide, please. And this is our original video.
Imagine this. You are going to school and you have a plastic water bottle. Then, at lunch, you buy a salad that comes in a plastic container. Then, in class, a teacher has you open a new package of paper. This is just one person's waste. Think about the amount of recyclables created by every student every day. It adds up. According to the EPA, 66% of paper and cardboard was recycled, 27% of glass, and 8% of plastics. We create a lot of waste throughout the day, and most of us don't even think twice about where it goes once it's out of our hands. It's up to us to be more mindful of our waste. Our team wants to improve the recycling system, starting with our local schools here in Milford, Massachusetts. We will make use of informative posters and videos to educate students and teachers on effective recycling techniques. Specialized recycling bins will be placed around the school to reduce the amount of recycling that ends up in landfills and in our environment. Clean schools are the first step to a clean planet. By focusing on recycling in schools in Milford, Massachusetts, we are working towards the United Nations Sustainability Goal 12 on a local level. This goal promotes sustainable consumption and production of goods. Recycling can help keep waste out of landfills and can be used to produce new products. By improving our school's recycling system, we will work towards a sustainable community and a cleaner environment. In 6 months, we believe that our plan can be implemented in our local schools. We will work with our school's administration to manage this program. If it is successful, we can reach out to other schools in nearby towns and help them implement a similar solution. It's our waste. It should be our problem.
In early May, we were also granted another award from the Turkish American TV staff as being one of their staff picks for the video contest. Next slide, please. Our app will help clean up our local school and change people's habits. This will help lower our ecological footprint now and throughout time as people become better at recycling. Even though we are working on a small scale, our impact will be combined with others around the world in order to make a difference. Once our app is successful, we will work with other local schools to implement it into their systems to help increase recycling as well. Next slide.
I'm sorry, can you go back a slide? Go back a couple of slides. So just one. Oh, no, sorry. I was right. You were right. Can we go to, so can we go to our sound and impactful solution? I'm very sorry. You're good, or all right, I'm going to take this. So directly Our school facilities, students, and community will benefit from and become more aware of their recycling impact, and in turn, we will have a cleaner school. The app will be a fun asset, which will include our specialized game and recycling education as well. We know that this will work because we have seen how our schools reacted to previous grade-based competitions. Our school has also shown that they will easily adopt apps that will aid the school, like with a Smart Pass app that we use. We've also seen that the functions in the app are easily programmable and functioning throughout the website and prototype and visual versions of our app. Next slide. Sorry, I guess it's probably not the updated version.
Okay, so here you can see some of the coding we've been working on. So we have started out with our app simply by just learning the code itself. So what we are using is a combination of JavaScript, HTML, and something called CSS. So we initially learned some of this code with the help of our mentor, Michelle. So as you can see here with this code, this is just a practice run so we can kind of figure out the code for ourselves. And then we kind of created a sample of a website just to get the idea down. And then if you look to the next slide, we also used a program called Adobe XD. So this was used without the use of code, and it simply just gives us an outline of our app and the different faces of the app. So if you look at some of these screens, they'll show what the app is planned to look like. And then we can also go through those and see how each part of the app will connect to each other, which we will then use to code. So in the next slide, this is some of our actual code. So on the right, this started out as a completely blank screen, but we've put all the code together to create the actual face of the app, and it's actually interactable. So if you were in that code, you can click on all those buttons and they highlight, and eventually we will connect those with the rest of the faces and it will actually be functioning.
So for our next steps, we wish to implement our experiments in our community by releasing a beta version of the app to the public once it's all coded. We also want to schedule meetings and speak with school officials, including our principal and our vice superintendent, who we've already been in contact with, about how we could implement the app under their approval and assistance. We want to design an area of our app that will help users research their impact and successful recycling techniques, including articles under our Can I Recycle This tab, and answer people's questions. Once we see how our app works in our high school, we'd like to expand it and reach to other schools in our district or even surrounding towns. And we would even like to see if a business would be capable of using this app, as it would be designed for all different types of users. Next slide, please. So we have learned about our local recycling system and what can and can't be recycled properly all throughout this, which has been really educational. We've also grown to work with Adobe XD in a way that like I knew nothing about. We've also learned in order to create our visual prototype, learning how to design our prototype through Adobe XD, we began to convert that prototype into real coding using programs such as Java, CSS, and HTML. We've all enjoyed seeing the prototype come together visually, working on it graphically, managing the coding, and working through the bugs. Our mentors have helped us immensely, and we've enjoyed watching other teams around us grow and develop their own projects as we grow. Next slide, please. We'd like to thank all of our mentors and everyone who has helped us, especially Kathleen, Nicole, Michelle, Kai, and the rest of the MSCN mentors, the Metro West STEM Education Network, the Krista McAuliffe's Center for Science Learning, our teachers and principals, Mr. Otland, Mr. Gauscher, and Ms. Ferreira, the Keep Mass Beautiful, Neil from Keep Mass Beautiful, the Smithsonian Institution affiliates, the Global Collab Network, and the Turkish American TV Network. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Excellent job. Now we can take just a pause to see if there are any questions for our two teams. There is one question in the chat. What was the most challenging thing that you overcame?
For me, at least, I'd say the most challenging thing that we've come across is learning how to use Adobe XD, as there's a lot of different parts of it, and it's not as straightforward as it looks. There's a lot of different parts of it, and you can't really take shortcuts with it.
Yeah, I think the coding was a big part of it, just because we had to really step out of our comfort zones with that and kind of go off on our own to create all that. But I think another big thing for us was figuring out the direction we wanted to take our project. If you could tell from like our initial video, our initial plan was very different from our whole app creation that we have now. So it took a lot of figuring out to get a sense of what would be best for our community.
Excellent. Thank you. Our next group of presentations focus on